As time passes, it's easy for us to forget about certain things that weren't always around. This is not only true for technology, but also for everyday items that we've grown accustomed to. Many of these items that we will discuss today have really changed our lives, whether we like it or not. In the 1980s, people were exercising, but it wasn't like today. Sure, there were tons of women wearing tight leotards in jazzercise classes, but they certainly didn't have to post about it on Facebook. Today, many people post their gym workout photos as proof that they were there. Imagine back in the day if we had taken Polaroid photos at the gym and then carried them around to show everyone at work or school. And fitness trackers were another item that we did not have. Imagine us all walking around and trying to count our steps and then marking it on a piece of paper. Today, we've grown used to the sight of parents giving their kids pouches of applesauce and other products to suck on. But 40 years ago, we still had to scoop that out of a jar. It was going to require a little work to get that treat. Remember the days when we were constantly having to mop our own linoleum floors? It was a real struggle to keep up with until the Swiffer was introduced in 1999. From that day forward, it all got a little bit easier. Just a few years back, we all saw fidget spinners and they took the world by storm. Every so often, you'll still see someone with one of these, but most of us didn't have this luxury when we grew up. If we wanted to annoy our teachers, then we simply just had to tap our pencils on the desk. For us, the real fidget spinners were these, and you bet they were lots of fun. When we were kids, we couldn't even imagine something like FaceTime. This definitely helps to keep families that are spread apart a lot closer. But FaceTime back in our day really just meant smooching with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Just about everywhere you go today, you'll see someone with some crazy hair color, and it's people of all ages too. 40 years ago, this was frowned upon. Back then, you would really only see a rebellious punk rocker sporting the look unless you counted grandma with blue church hair. There was a time when many people had babies and the gender reveal happened when they were born. This was long before sonograms were perfected, which has now given most parents the opportunity to come up with new ways of revealing the gender at parties. Today, if you don't do that, are you even a cool parent? Our cell phones have made it super easy to record videos. They are super portable and we already carry them everywhere. But in the 80s, it wasn't quite so easy. We had to lug around these huge VHS recorders that sat on our shoulders. And if you're old enough, then don't even get me started on the Super 8 cameras. A lot has changed. These cell phones have also taken the place of film cameras for most people. The days of having to lug around a video camera and a photo camera at the same time are long gone. Imagine a world without Google. It seems like it's been around forever now, but the company was born in 1998 and the world has never been the same. Prior to that, we just walked around knowing a lot less. The same could be said for Wikipedia. Sure, it might not be the most reliable source, but we are all guilty of using it from time to time. As kids, we were all told to take our vitamins. Today, kids love gummy vitamins, but they weren't the first candy-inspired vitamin. Most of us grew up with Flintstone Vitamins, which first came out in 1968. Gummies would not make an appearance until almost 30 years later. Texting is something that most all of us do, and of course some people do it more than others. Today, kids don't even understand a world without texting, Instagram, or Snap. 40 years ago, texting would have just consisted of writing a letter or passing a note in class. It is hard to believe, but Facebook has not quite been around for 20 years. It first made its debut in 2004. Next was Twitter in 2006, followed by Instagram in 2010. Today, more and more people are on various forms of social media. Baby strollers have been around for a long time now, and they have certainly made parenting easier. But there was a time when they were much more simple and smaller. As time goes on, they are getting larger and larger, as well as more expensive. They are now almost the size of an SUV that can take up the whole sidewalk. Who knows, one day they might be self-propelled or have air conditioning and heat. Over the years, many people have loved Disney. The Disney Store made its first mall debut in 1987, and soon little girls everywhere were dressing up like little princesses. But for many of us, we remember the malls long before that ever happened. If you grew up in the 70s, then you can certainly remember the smells. Homes had a distinctive smell with sweaty beanbag chairs and eventually musty shag carpet. We really didn't think much of it though. In 1998, Febreze hit the market, and this odor eliminator changed the game forever. It could make any musty den smell fresh and new. Kids who take lunches to school today are pretty spoiled, or at least the parents are. Moms or dads can just simply throw an Uncrustable sandwich in the lunchbox along with some fruit cups and a bag of chips already packaged. Then the kids will carry them in plastic lunchboxes or material ones that have frozen cool packs in them. In the 1970s and 80s, kids had the indestructible metal lunch pails with our favorite superhero or show on them. We ate the food at room temperature, and our moms usually made the sandwich and then divvied up fruit and chips into little baggies. iTunes and other music streaming services have changed the way that most of us get and listen to the music we like. But up until the 1990s, we used to visit record stores and comb through all the albums to find that next gem. This was an actual activity that kids today wouldn't understand since their music is just a click away. Disposable diapers have become a necessary item for almost all parents today. Not only that, but most of them have diaper genies, which came out sometime in the 1990s. At one time, many people used cloth diapers even when disposables first came around. Mothers would either wash them or have a diaper cleaning service come around to do the dirty deed. No matter how you look at it, you'll never get away from dealing with your kids' crap, at least not when they are in diapers. Selfies are certainly way more popular than they ever were 40 years ago. Back then, it wasn't so easy. You had to do all the guesswork with the film camera and then have it developed. Polaroid cameras made it a little bit better because you had something instantly to look at, but it was still a challenge. Most of us would just elect to find a picture booth which would do all the work for us. Today, it's easier than ever with cell phones. Netflix and other entertaining streaming services pretty well killed the video rental stores. Going to rent a movie from the video store was an activity that many of us enjoyed in the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s. Today that is mostly gone, and so is waiting a week to catch the next episode. Now most of us have been guilty of binge watching our favorite shows. When The Elf on a Shelf debuted in 2005, they made it sound like a timeless tradition that we all needed. Every Christmas, we always see countless pictures of how parents are trying to find new ways to portray this devious little elf. For a whole younger generation, it is impossible to imagine a world without him. Braces have come a long ways in the last 40 years. Today you can have all sorts of colors, but Invisalign came out in 1999, and over the years they have changed the game. More and more people have made the move to getting these invisible braces. Now we no longer see kids wearing crazy headbands that they used to wear unless you're watching an old 80s movie. Over time, these inventions and products have become an integral part of our lives. After a while, we forget how we even existed without them. Younger folks today will have a difficult time trying to imagine a life where these were never around. But for those of us old enough to remember, we certainly do. Do you know of anything else that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching.